What's up, everybody? David here from What Drives You, and today we're talking about the delivery of our new Model Y and our first impressions. First off, let's go over the delivery. It wasn't quite as seamless as I would have hoped. Certainly not as good as picking up our Model 3, but it was towards the end of the quarter in a very different and hectic time. We all were wearing masks, the delivery people wearing masks, but more importantly, when we got there on the first day, they didn't actually have the car ready, or they did to some degree have the car ready, but they didn't actually have the keys paired to the car yet. I think that's one of the last steps that they do upon delivery is they pair the keys, the two key cards to the car, and then it's good to go. But they had a problem with their network, so the network was down, and we had driven 40 minutes to get over there, waited about an hour while we were there, signed a couple papers, but we were just waiting for them to get those keys paired, and they couldn't get it done. So we actually had to come home without our Model Y, unfortunately. But we went back on the second day and we were able to get it. So unfortunately, it was raining the whole time we were there when we actually picked it up that second day. But we looked over the car as much as we could and went ahead and were able to take it home. So overall, the delivery experience was much better than anything I've had to deal with any other car manufacturers, but not what I would expect from Tesla. So they definitely have some work to do on the delivery, getting things organized, and really attending to the customers. There were a ton of cars there, and it's right at the end of the quarter, so I know they're just trying to push out as many cars as possible, but still some more attention to us purchasing a very expensive vehicle, at least for us, would have been nice. First impressions of the vehicle itself: this is a long-range all-wheel drive blue with white interior and the Aero wheels, or the Gemini wheels. The exterior, I love the blue color. It was my wife's pick, of course, but it almost makes me regret getting the gray on the Model 3, because the blue on the Model Y looks fantastic, especially with the white seats. The Gemini wheels, I do like those. They're just like the Model 3, where they're just aero covers over the wheels. The wheel underneath is still a nice wheel, so you don't really have to cover it up with that aero cover, but it does give you more efficiency, and I like the looks of the aero cover anyways. We checked out all of the main things that seem to be concerns with other people as they picked up their Model Y. We checked for the hatch closing and opening properly and staying properly seated when it was closed. So it looks pretty good. I think both sides seem to be very similar in the gaps and everything, so I think it's seated pretty well, and we have not had it fail to close at all. Ben Sullins did a video talking about how his latch, where the trunk latch did not actually latch every time. So that's a real problem if your trunk latch doesn't latch, of course. So we did check for that, and it seemed to latch pretty good. And all the gaps around the front of the car, I mean, I'm no expert on gaps on car panels, but they all looked good to me. So we were good to go for that. The one area of concern was one of the doors, the rear passenger doors, did not lay flush with the car. So there is definitely some adjustment that needs to be made on that door. It does stick out a little bit, but that is the only thing that we really noticed overall that was of concern. Oddly enough, when we did go to pick up the vehicle, the kick plate had come off for one of the delivery specialists, so they had to get that repaired really quick, but that wasn't nearly as much concern as the fact that they couldn't pair the keys. So they got the kick plate fixed in no time at all. I think they just stuck some glue underneath it really quick and put it back on. but no concerns there. Interior impressions, it looks very similar to the Model 3, except these seats are higher in the front and there's much more legroom in the back. The kids love the fact that there's an armrest that's a little bit wider in the middle, and we love the ability to pull the seats down from the trunk. So if we need to let those drop down, the trunk is great. A lot more room than the Model 3, a lot easier to access with that power liftgate, and the underfloor storage is a lot bigger than the Model 3, as well as there's an extra underfloor storage that you can put maybe some cables in or that sort of thing, maybe first aid kit. It didn't really fit the charger cable pouch very well. I think if I situated it just right, it probably would fit under the floor without the cover popping up, but it is some extra space there. And then the front trunk, or the frunk, is much larger as well than the Model 3. So it has, a couple more inches depth. I think we'll have to measure that out and see for sure, but it definitely seems bigger. So that's a great improvement. And just getting in and out of the car, it feels a whole lot better than the Model 3 as far as being a little bit higher up. It's only a few inches difference, but it feels a lot easier to get in and out of with the taller roof line, and also it's much more comfortable for sitting in. At least for me, being over 6 feet tall, I do have a problem sometimes with the Model 3 and the screen, my knee hitting the screen. So if I am not paying attention to where I'm moving my leg, I might hit that the bottom of the screen there, and that's not great. But I haven't had that problem in the Model Y because it's a little bit taller, so that's great. Other improvements are the glass roof. The glass roof, no pillar in the middle, so that is a great improvement. There's just glass all the way back. Also, we have the wireless charger now in the Model Y. I had to purchase that extra in the Model 3. If you get a new Model 3 now, though, they are shipping them with that wireless charger. So they just took the same center console from the new one in the Model Y and are now putting that in the Model 3. It's exactly the same as the original Model 3 console, center console, but there is the wireless charger that's already in there and a USB-C in the front, as well as 2 USB-Cs in the back. So that's it. My first impressions of the vehicle and our delivery experience. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. We're gonna have a lot more videos coming out on the Model Y. And please leave below in the comments your suggestions on any videos that you think I should do on the Model Y. And we'll catch you on the next one.